You're listening to this episode on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or YouTube. Hit that subscribe button and leave us a comment. It would greatly benefit the show.
I love doing the preamble to each part where I'm saying something that isn't related. But like, the Farxlings are 4 and 5. 5's soon to be 6, and like they're very aware of blood and blood in things. And like I'm wearing the Stranger Things shirt because my older daughter has watched Stranger Things and like seen a Demogorgon rip someone apart, and it's like, well, I mean, you really shouldn't have seen that, but like she's fine with it, and like other kids her age and slightly older know it. So it's like, well, like what I really want to do is like get her and her older cousin who's into horror and show them Alien, because I feel like Alien, you know, it'll still be like and all that stuff, but it's like, because like girls like blood and you know she understands, and like we played Mortal Kombat where there's like blood coming out of stuff.
See, it's not like in the 80s when sorry, I totally ruined your opening, didn't I?
No, that's fine.
No, that's great.
Like when the 80s and 90s action films, like blood was just so crappy. It was just a crappy special effect. But now it's so realistic. It's like sometimes it is like, oh my god, what the fuck?
Oh, your overkill thing. It's kind of like that. The blood in Desperado. You know what I mean? The Robert Rodriguez. Do you want to hit it hard? Nice. You remember about Desperado, Robert Rodriguez, and blood and flood. But the Desperado also shoots people that are like falling off a building. And my father was like, well, he's going to die. Why would you shoot him? And it's your thing with like, you need to overwhelm with violence that you said in the non-spoiler section.
Overwhelm with violence if you're going to win, yeah.
Welcome to Movie Baders with the Farx brothers. I'm Kyle.
I'm Kirk.
I'm Nick.
What are we doing?
Whoa, I thought you were going to keep introducing it. All right, we are joined with Nick Krekeler. Just want to make sure I'm right. Producer, director, writer, and actor.
Producer, director, actor. He also writes.
I said it right.
I have written.
Oh, it's actor before writer?
Whatever.
Yeah.
Fine.
What? All right.
I love that this is all right, pun intended. Okay, wait. What was the? We were going to talk about doggies. Do you?
Yeah, this is spoilers for John Wick.
Do you care about doggies?
What do you mean?
Like when the doggy gets killed in 3, they like.
Yeah.
When that guy from Game of Thrones just blows him away. Who is he in Game of Thrones?
He was Bronn.
Bronn, that's right. When Bronn comes, you didn't watch Game of Thrones. So when Bronn comes in and kills Halle Berry's dog, like, did you feel a little something?
No.
But I felt something when Old Yeller got shot. Fuck. That's not a kid's movie, but it is a kid's movie.
I showed Old Yeller as a kid to other kids from my neighborhood.
Wow,
and I thought
why?
it was so lame. They were like, this movie's old and dumb. And then, like, they were just not into it. It was
Kids' movies in the 80s were fucked up. then we had Never Ending Story and Atrax and his horse and
The hairstyle.
Atreyu and a fucking horse. Fuck! God, I can't. The goddamn wolf that scared the shit out of you. Sorry. Trauma. We're dealing with my trauma today on this show.
John Wick assists 1 through 4.
Check.
Check.
Check. Got it.
And the traumas of
80s
Nick.
kids movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't really have trauma from like Never Ending
Wow.
Story when I saw
Wow.
like I didn't care about the horse dying. I care about dogs dying. Horses, I know there's people who very much care about horses.
It was just so sad. Like, this is a kids movie, and this it's like the saddest fucking thing in the world. And I remember seeing that in the theater. I was fucking crying like a little.
I have never seen my children cry at a movie yet, like out of fear or like sadness. But I have seen cartoons like The Wild Robot was funny because it's like you know every adult is crying, but the kids are like
The Land Before Time. Fuck you, Bambi.
Yeah.
Mom dies. Jesus.
just Nick coming out and going, "Fuck this movie from the '80s that made me feel something when I was a child."
Kids movies shouldn't be that sad.
Yeah.
I think they should.
Dramatic.
Because, it's kind of like what you're saying with like escapism in terms of like John Wick, even though it's pew, pew, you know, it's escapism. So like big emotions, kids have the big emotions anyways. So like being able to like approximate it to something. The wolf, the horse, all these things.
Right.
I don't know.
But John Wick is not like Saving Private Ryan, where it's like this really happened.
Yeah.
And if you think war is cool,
It's not.
This is a movie that says this is not cool.
It's
Like,
one of the coolest anti-war movies, or I would
Right.
hope it is
Like,
interpreted that way by
when
most.
when veterans are reacting, who were actually there to like being like, holy fuck, it's like I'm there again, from a movie, that says something, you know. So it's like, I don't know, because I've had debates about like gun violence and do video game. My senior paper in college was about video games and violence in movies and how it affects kids, and does it actually like make killers and blah blah blah.
I think it subdues killer instincts of most.
There's no everybody will tell you that there's research that says one way, research that says the other way, but there's no one research that says conclusively yes or no.
The violent men I know who have engaged in video games and watching movies are less violent and have enacted less violence on people because they were able to get it out in video games.
Right.
That's my
True.
experience.
It's an escape and it's a release. Martial arts, soccer, sports was for me. But also, my point with Saving Private Ryan is that this not only is it a good movie, but this is a movie where you could teach. It's a learning moment where, you think violence is cool, you think war is cool. Here you go.
I was 11 when I saw that. And the guy crying "mommy" on the shore of Normandy, and like, "mommy" is like,
It was the
this
same
is
guy.
not cool.
It was the same guy later. That's the deaf guy who's got he can't hear, and he tells him where Jimmy Ryan is.
I'm glad
The same actor.
I'm glad he got two parts. That's great.
Yeah, but I was like, because the first time I saw it, I was
Confusing.
like, wait, it's not the same guy. It's the same actor.
I think I just acquired it on 4K streaming, so I'm gonna watch it again because I had the DVD as part of my patriotic duty, and I haven't upgraded from the DVD to a Blu-ray or 4K. Wait,
See,
what's this?
he never intended for you to watch it in 4K and notice that it was the same actor.
Oh well, yeah, that's probably true too. Is it? Wait, when did you notice it?
First time I saw it.
Yeah,
In the theater.
in the theater though. Yes.
Yeah.
Big screen.
When you're
screen,
watching
correct.
film
Yeah.
on a big screen. Yeah.
Right, yeah.
And
Before
now we
digital.
can recreate that at home in even higher fidelity.
And I think they probably, as we all make films,
We do.
Sometimes you just go, wow, nobody's really going to pay attention. He's got blood all over him. It's a real quick scene. Nobody's going to know. NYPD Blue had. First of all, NYPD Blue is like the stomping grounds for anybody who is anybody in Hollywood now. We're all on NYPD Blue. Every single, including Pedro Pascal.
Oh, yeah,
Play this crazy demon guy and licks his hand. Like, that is fucking weird.
I loved NYPD Blue.
I love you too. But what was I saying? Same
David
actors.
Caruso.
Where they were like, the NYPD Blue recycled actors all the time.
Yeah. So does Law and Order and all
Yeah,
those
yeah,
shows
yeah.
that run on forever. But NYPD Blue had Dennis Franz.
Did have Des Franz.
Urban Youths.
Urban.
You're Des Franz. You talk about urban youths.
No.
Probably one of the best, in my opinion, character arcs and character development stories of all time.
Across all the seasons?
Across any show, any movie, anything.
We're talking about John Wickasis.
We are.
Where are you with The Shield? The Shield is like, you don't like it. You don't, wait, why don't you like it?
It's contrite. It's like
Contrite?
It's I don't believe the stories. I don't like the characters. I don't.
Well, I mean, you're not supposed to like Vic Mackey.
I know you're not, and I love that actor,
Michael Chiklis.
Michael Chiklis.
The Thing.
Yeah, the Thing. I love him as an actor.
What would Vic
Never bought it.
Mackey do?
Yeah.
And like that had kind of the pre-born kind of aesthetic to it.
It did.
And the action. But how do you feel about the action in The Shield?
It's okay. I mean, it was the '90s, late '90s.
It's 2002 to 2008.
Was it?
Yes.
Oh, sorry. He was in the Commish before he was in the Shield.
Yes.
That's right. Sorry.
Was on at the same time as NYPD Blue.
Right.
You guys didn't watch any of these, right? Well, I know
No.
you watched The Shield.
I saw the Shield.
Yeah, I never really watched.
Sorry.
It's just kind of it's fine. I didn't watch a lot of it. I watched like the first
Oh, you
most
haven't
of the
seen-
first season. And
Oh
then it was
yeah, the
just
first
like-
season sucks. Not sucks, but it's like
But see, I hate it when people are like just get past the first season and then the rest of it's
no. You need to watch the entire first season because it's great and like the point it makes about like how policing could be used in a broader sense. Like who are the real bad people, and it's like the bureaucrats above them, and that's kind of my bailiwick is like a, I don't, like government should be more localized and smaller so that it doesn't do these things. And so for that battle axe, that's what the shield gives me. And what I like about John Wick is that it seems like he's always attacking like a higher structure or like a classism element. And it's like, I'm going after the marquis, you know. Fuck that guy because he, you know, is some rich kid who inherited this and now he's...
Right, but the movie starts, I mean, the first one is very slow. The first... I don't think Keanu Reeves really says more than 5 lines in the first 30 minutes of the film. It's just him and his dog, and you kind of go, where are we going with this fucking...
The dog gets killed around minute 15 to 20.
Fucking Theon Greyjoy wants his car because he drives a car from Gone in 60 Seconds, and Theon Greyjoy says, I want your car. Don't you? You have a dick? No? Okay, cool. You should lose that.
That's all you need.
He doesn't have a dick in season 2 of Game of Thrones. Is it season 2 he loses his dick?
It happens that early? No, yeah.
They castrate him when he's like up on a thing.
Takes away... it takes away his favorite toy. It's the real sadist.
Fucking a lot.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
And then what
Gets
happens to the
weirder.
penis?
And then the penis gets sent to his father.
What does he do with it?
Throws his fire.
Okay.
Game of Thrones.
No, he has no
The
son. No,
Thrones.
he doesn't have an heir. Which, yeah.
You can
Game
see
of
how some
Thrones.
John Wickises or like some Game of Thrones end up in John Wick. You know?
Uh-huh.
Because it's like, if you're willing to watch this, you're willing to watch. Well, you were talking, so you wanted
So the first one, I was just going to say really quick. So the first one's kind of like you were saying with they're always going after the bigger fish. So the first one, you're kind of just, I wouldn't even really call it world building. You're just kind of getting introduced to the character, right? And it wasn't until the second one where you start seeing, like, this is the tip, and now we're starting to see more of the iceberg as the movies progress. And they kind of wrote it. The first one, they were kind of like, well, here we go. And then they were like, oh, we should really expand this world, which I thought they did brilliantly, in my opinion. Just expanding, like, oh, there's this high table, and they control everybody, and everybody has to follow these rules, and there's all these rules to the thing. But it seems like everybody in New York is an assassin.
which
Yeah.
I like specifically that the homeless or unhoused, no, I'm going to call them homeless, are
The Bowery.
in some, what?
The Bowery.
The Bowery folks are all like connected, you know, like assassins themselves.
Right. Run by
Lawrence Fishburne.
Lawrence Fishburne. What was
Larry
his character?
Fishburne.
What was his name in Neo?
Morpheus.
Morpheus,
Morpheus
yeah.
runs.
Jinx.
Right. So Morpheus and Neo come together again.
Oh, yeah. I keep forgetting that that's the thing because that happened in 2. Wait, is it 2 when he meets? Yeah, he meets him in 2, and then he's still there.
He
at
becomes
the end
a
of 4.
becomes a bigger character in 3 and 4.
I don't like. It is kind of silly that he gets out of the country in 4 just so that he can be in 4. You know what I mean? But I like seeing Larry Fishburne. He has a whole house or a whole apartment of just comic books. So like, whenever he's in a movie, it's like, hey, he's a nerd. I love him.
Right. Yeah, and so this world building of how this person, you have to follow the rules from the table, and like in the second one, that's where you get introduced because the guy that has his mark, which is a secret assassin thing, because you did me a favor, now you owe me one.
Who else has marks after 2? Isn't there a mark in like 4 or something like that?
Storm, Halle Berry.
Oh yeah,
And
she had a
3,
mark.
He
with,
calls in his mark.
He calls in his mark with her after his mark had been called in the last one, and now he's on the run.
Excommunicado. Which, by the way, all 4 of them take place within a couple weeks. His hair grows very fast. Keanu Reeves.
Well, no, we don't know how much time passes between 3 and 4, and
But even between 2 and 3.
well, there's no time passage between 2 and 3.
Right, but his hair still grows. It's longer.
And we don't know how much time passed between 1 and 2 because that he's had to like figure out who the boss, the brother of the boss he killed in the last movie was. And for me, what I liked about that is I thought they were saying, hey, you know how you think this is going to be a sequel, just a normal sequel? Like, no, we're getting rid of that plot line in the first 10 minutes. We're getting rid of, what's his name from Prison Break and so many other things. That guy's the brother of first guy. And then they go on this thing with, like, this guy wants to kill his sister because he...
wants her seat at the high table.
Yeah, and, like, it's constantly, hey, this nepotism asshole, hey, this guy who wants to kill his sister, and then it's like an stupid bureaucracy comes in.
The adjudicator comes in the third one.
Yeah, in the third one because of the killing that happened in the second one.
Yeah.
So it's like, oh, we got these rules, and I'm here to enforce the rules of the high table. The upper class need me to come in.
But she makes a line to that one guy at the sushi place about John Wick has done a lot of damage within the last few weeks all over a dog.
Oh yeah, you're right. That well,
So maybe it's a throwaway line. Maybe it's not really the timeline, but maybe it's she's, summarizing. But that was my frame of reference for him.
you're not wrong. Because like we don't know how many. Like, has it been years since John Wick 1 to John Wick 4? I don't know.
Well, clearly not, because 2 and 3 are connected, and then 3 goes right into 4.
Because 3 he's dead. He's dead in the world, and then wakes up in
The Bowery.
And then at the beginning of 4, he's punching the nail into the board, and then riding in the Sahara.
Yeah.
And so
Kill the elder.
Sorry.
He kills the elder. Yeah.
Yeah, and so I don't know how much time passed there. And the other thing that's always confusing, and we spend a lot of time on when we talk about Ballerina, is when does Ballerina fit into John Wick 3?
Wasn't it 2 and 3?
No, it's just 3.
He's still alive and he's missing his finger. And then Ballerina starts when he's walking through his adoptive mom's, because they replay that scene.
Yes.
Yeah.
So it's right in there. 2 or 3. So 3 into 4.
You don't think they're going to make 5? They said at CinemaCon they were going to.
They said they were going to make a lot of movies out of a lot of different places, and some of them just get shelved and never get spoke of again.
I think they're going to make 5 just because of how well 4 did.
They were going to make was it Rogue Squadron? No.
The Patty Jenkins
Academy?
Yeah, the Patty Jenkins
which I was super excited about. Got shelved. She even made a commercial for it, for the Super Bowl.
I don't remember. Yeah. Oops. Yeah. Okay, so you're arguing. Give your evidence for how you know it's not going to get made.
John Wick's dead.
We don't know.
He
he's
come
dead.
back. Huh?
We didn't see him die.
We
We heard him breathe heavy, get shot thrice, and then we saw people at a grave. But the dog didn't seem to believe it.
Right,
The
but
dog,
I mean, you could use the Shane.
Ian McShane's Winston.
No, Shane, the movie, when he's riding off in the sunset and he's slumped on his horse, and the boys yelling Shane, Shane, and people assume that he was still alive. No, he's dead. And somebody argues, well, the slump don't mean dead.
Slump don't mean because it's kind of like with Logan.
He slumped on the horse and he's riding off in the sunset.
That's why they reference Shane in Logan, because Logan's supposed to be dead and Shane's supposed to be dead, but we know Logan wasn't dead.
They also reference it in The Negotiator.
I own that movie on DVD, and I've seen it once as on cable when I was a teen. I haven't. Do you like The Negotiator?
I do, because I thought it was just really good writing. I mean, I know Kevin Smith is a piece of shit human being.
Spacey.
Sorry. It's Kevin Smith I love. Sorry. Kevin Spacey's a piece of shit human being. Sorry, Kevin Smith. But I thought it was just really good writing, good for a play. It takes place in an office, building the entire time. I thought the writing was good, especially when Kevin Spacey's character is talking about how they're talking about Shane. It's like, well, how do you know? How you just saw the movie? He's like, well, I tend to read as much as information about something before I form an opinion. And I was like, oh, that's fucking smart. And it's just a good.
But he's the bad guy. Isn't Kevin Spacey the one who says that? No, it's
Kevin Spacey does say that, but he's not the bad guy.
He's a negotiator.
Yes. Spoilers, it's the hierarchy that is the bad guys that are stealing money from the funds. They use Samuel L. Jackson as the scapegoat.
That's right. I don't
Kind of like John Wick was the scapegoat at the end of 3.
For Winston.
Yeah.
He thinks Winston's the bad guy.
I think Winston is kind of the bad guy in this franchise. Because he shoots John Wick. He always gets his hotel back, no matter what.
Yeah, but he did it.
Selfish.
But if you watch him when he shoots him, he's specifically shooting him in the jacket.
Yeah.
Because he knows it's bulletproof.
Sure.
And then I love his lines. I love Shane. What's the actor's name? Shane. Isn't the actor's name Shane? Ian McShane.
From Deadwood.
Love him. Yeah, love him in Deadwood.
Yeah. I'd never heard cunt that much before that show, and that was I was not allowed to watch that in the living room if my mom was home.
I got annoyed with Deadwood because I didn't get annoyed with it only because I liked listening to Ian McShane speak, but his speech became very Shakespearean, but in an old Western way. So it's kind of like, okay. Because especially a lot of his monologues are just droned on. But I also love Deadwood.
Wild Bill Hickok is in Deadwood the first 4 episodes.
And then he's shot and killed.
Is historically accurate.
Right. And then that character comes back as the guy that played the guy that kills him comes back as another character later.
Yeah, it's great.
It's great.
I like that actor.
So John Wick. What were we talking about? John Wick with
Winston being the bad guy.
You don't
Winston
think
being the
Winston's
bad
a
guy.
bad
I don't
guy?
think he's a bad guy. I think he kind of like in a Captain Jack Sparrow way, where he doesn't necessarily plan everything out, but it just kind of he knows what he wants, and he might use people, but in a respectful way, because I think even if he was the bad guy, I think he also doesn't like the hierarchy and doesn't agree with the politics of the high table. So his thing to his friend was, I'm going to shoot you. You're going to pretend to die, because she says he's gone. And he's like, yeah, what a shame. And she's like, no, I mean, he's physically gone. And he's like, not my problem.
I'm going to make an arc argument for just that movie on its own to you, and then I'll have him validate whether this is, because he's only seen 1 and 3. So you're a validation point of, first, yes or no, does 3 have its own arc that you could follow and works as its own?
That I could follow. Not on this viewing.
Cool. So what I'm going to tie the beginning to the end to show John Wick's arc, is that he has to shoot the guy who gives him the medical help that gets him through after being injured at the end of 2. And then, so because what saves him is saving the guy is shooting him, so that he'll be safe, so that people won't think that you'll just say you forced me, and then I shot you, and
because they won't believe he stopped right at the time when he was excommunicado.
Exactly. And so John goes from shooting a guy to save him to a guy shooting him to save him. And so that is the arc from the beginning of 3 to the end of 3, and that's why Winston isn't the bad guy, because no one in that scenario is against each other.
What if he didn't survive falling off the building?
He knew he would.
John Wick falls off of buildings more than once and is fine.
Yeah, he's apparently Superman, and he
he's
survived
a superhero
anything.
movie.
Probably shot 500,000 times between 1 and 3.
Yeah.
That's not even before 4. I don't think Winston.
Does it work as a story argument, since he's a writer first, arguably, artistically speaking, I believe? Does my argument work on like hey, this one movie on its own works this way because the protagonist goes from the shooter to the shootee?
It could. I could see that would be like shorthand for
Something bigger that's thematic.
You need like a little more support for throughout. I'm not saying it wasn't there. I'm just saying I literally just
watched it for the first time today while making dinner, and you're on the show, which I appreciate that you came to the show. Settings seem real in this. When you look at the when they're in Europe and you see a background, it doesn't look like a map painting. It doesn't look like CGI or like green screen with something. Because I think they actually went and shot in Europe.
They filmed
somewhere.
on location,
And that
Arc
looks
de Triomphe.
Yeah, and that looks good, and I think makes a cinematic. I'm really appealing to Nick on this one of here's why John Wick is good, is because the settings look real, but the thing that's fake is the thing that it's known for, is like the gun fu and all this shit. And you've already talked about how airsoft and blanks make it possible. And they also through CGI are able to.
A lot of CGI in that.
Yeah, I don't care about CGI blood. That's fine. I don't need to see a squib every time. And if it helps it so that you can shoot multiple takes, because that's why they use CGI blood instead of squibs, because we got to take 15 minutes between. No, it's just CGI blood, so we can go back every 5 minutes and shoot one.
Well, in film, and I think you're going to see as films progress, you're going to see more and more CGI because of what happened on Rust. Since Airsoft, they look just the same and they function just the same as most any other firearm possible. They're safer because you're never going to accidentally shoot somebody with it.
Yeah.
And you can do multiple takes. You don't have to reload. They're cheaper. You pay a couple $100 for a gun, and it's just CO2 or Green Air. They're way cheaper than buying blanks or making blanks.
Yep.
And I think so. I think moving on in the future, and I know a lot of artists have said they will not do action movies unless they are not real firearms, or some have said, I'm not going to do another movie with guns.
Do you remember who that was?
No, I don't specifically. I know Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson said he won't do action films with real guns.
He doesn't do real action films to begin with.
Yeah. Ouch.
Come on,
Damn.
Scorpion King.
I do love Scorpion King, but that's not a real action movie. The whole point is the
Central
CGI
Park.
in that movie.
Oh,
I actually have. That's another movie.
San Andreas.
So wait, that movie? Yeah. Would you stand for San Andreas right now? He made a bunch of these
fun.
global action adventure movies that are sort of action,
It's
sort of
fun.
adventure. They're fine. Is that what
It's
you're
fun. It's a fun movie. It's just like Transformers. I'm not watching for a good fucking story. Walking into Transformers, I said, I want to see Rock'em Sock'em Robots. I got Rock'em Sock'em Robots. I'm happy.
It took him 3 movies to get Transformers right.
They got worse
Really?
as they went on.
So in the first movie, when the robots are fighting, they all look gray. At least in the second movie, the colors distinguish the CGI gobbledygook I'm looking at. And then
Right.
the third one, I felt like it was at least more. The fights were interesting, and the story was slightly better than 2 that started without a script. The best thing about 2 is the feature-length documentary that comes with the Blu-ray that talks about the making of 2 during the writer's strike.
Right. There is, the writer's strike didn't help. There's also a documentary on Netflix called Wick is Hard.
Yes.
It's about the making of all the
Oh, it's
John
on
Wick.
Netflix now?
I don't, where is it on?
I don't know. I just know
It's on somewhere.
It came to South by Southwest 2025.
Yeah.
I think it was 2025.
It's on. It's somewhere. It's on one of the streaming services.
Yeah.
But it's very fascinating. I'm one of those guys that likes to watch the behind the scenes stuff. I watched all of the behind the scenes stuff on Lord of the Rings on all the DVDs.
Yeah, same. Well, same here, not same there. But
Really?
he's never seen Lord of the Rings.
No.
Neither has Mrs. Farx.
Yeah.
There's people like this, and to me, it's that wasn't a profound experience you had in 2001 to 2003.
To be fair, I did watch To be fair, a month ago, I watched the behind the scenes of how they did forced perspective. They were the first movie to do forced perspective with moving a moving camera. Or
Yeah.
moving cameras.
Old school. Went back old school tricks.
Yeah, but they've never done it with where the camera has to move in the shot.
Right.
And it was very. Yeah.
It's very cool. Yeah.
It touched me, and I know from watching the behind the scenes. Here's how I'll show my bona fides. Is that Samwise Gamgee counted all the days that he had to wear the feet where they weren't on camera, and I think it was 50.
Mm-hmm.
That, right? Do you know this?
No.
Because it took him an hour.
Oh, the
to,
Hobbit
paint,
feet?
Yeah, that paint on the Hobbit feet. So if they weren't in, they would much rather wear, the kid from the Goonies would much rather wear his tennis shoes. Look at these. Yeah, I couldn't think of Sean Astin's name. He's the head of SAG now, I believe.
He is.
Yeah, so good job, Sean Astin. Union strong. Yeah, I watched, I'm also one of those people. Nick is one of those people with behind the scenes for, what are the movies that have, you've gone and just, masturbated.
Jerked off to the behind the scenes? I don't think I ever have.
Intellectually with your mind.
A mindgasm?
Mindgasms.
Behind the scenes? Fuck, I don't know. It would have been on a DVD. When they
You
used
buy
to,
physical media still. You buy Blu-rays. You haven't bought a Blu-ray that you've watched the...
a lot less these days,
Well,
but
yeah.
yeah, I do. God. Fuck. 7. The edition of the DVD, this is a 20-year-old DVD edition, had a good, I don't know, some in-depth thing on it. But I don't, I see, if I don't remember it though, how good was it?
You
I
watched all
remember-
the screen behind the scenes features, I'm sure. They don't really particularly remember. They did make some good behind the scenes documentary, like A Wick is Hard.
Oh,
Screen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you seen it?
I haven't seen it all the way through. I kind of watched it and kind of fell asleep.
And did you get it with the 3-pack of the first 3 movies? Because that's the only reason I have it, and I've started it. And
I think
probably
somebody.
done the same.
I was at somebody else's house and we were watching it, drinking one night.
I love that circumstance. Nick, what was something you took away from this second Wick experience that you've had?
Took away from it?
Yeah, how about LED lighting in the background, or the cinematographic nature of this movie versus the first movie? Like, did you think it was a level up in terms of how it was shot, the way it was designed?
Yeah, it looked good visually. The locations, like if they were ever using any like digital set extensions, it was hard to tell where. Like it all looked good. Like I said, like the choreography of the fights, I like and how they shot it, and that they like they didn't feel like they have to cut every 6 frames. I liked all that. I don't know, like.
But all the gobbledygook of the like nerd stuff, for lack of a better way to describe it, of like, here's the high table and here's how this works. And all of the Star Wars level lore is like kind of like washes over you.
Yeah,
As,
I mean it's cool. It makes, I guess it's like, I mean makes it like kind of fresh, right? Because is there anything else like that before? I don't know. Maybe.
Well, so Nick is a guy that saw like Fast 9 without having seen like 3 through, I think it was 8, right?
I don't think I've seen anything other than some people die.
How dare you?
They come back anyways.
5 and 7 are so good. Even though I said that thing about Dwayne earlier, 5 is really good, and he's part of what makes it good. Because it was supposed to be Tommy Lee Jones.
Oh, wow. Huh.
I hate Fast and Furious. I think they're dumb.
You hate Fast 5?
I hate all of the Fast and the Furious movies.
Why?
I think they're dumb.
You love Wickuses but hate Furiouses?
I definitely think they're okay, the first one you're like, okay, screaming cars and fast cars and cool, and then Tokyo Drift, like.
That's 3.
And then you have cars that are driving over tanks and flying
8.
Whatever.
6.
Whatever, yeah, stupid.
Sir, you can't. Escapism, escapism, sir.
To compare to the John Wick that we're talking about, like, it's all pretty realistic, except for him like being slightly superhuman when he falls off a couple buildings. Mm-hmm. But like when you take cars and action sequences like that, when the physics don't match the actual reality of physics,
when they're dragging the
unless
safe
you specifically
through
unless it's specifically said, or the world is like supernatural, or there's something that says this physics don't necessarily work the right way in this world. But when there's nothing
supernatural. Technically,
there's supernatural.
Yeah, I know. There's nothing. There's sci-fi. There's nothing supernatural other than The Rock in Fast and Furious, and there's nothing supernatural. But there is, I would argue, is there any sci-fi in John Wick?
It's like what's that other movie he keeps making?
You're talking Vin Diesel?
Yeah.
Riddick?
Riddick.
Oh yeah.
Is that the ones he always is making between that and Fast and Furious?
He's made a couple Riddicks.
Like the one where it's like pitch black. The pitch black was one. Like,
yeah, I thought it was another one he was doing. But anyways, it's like his own two franchises that he owns that he wants to keep.
Oh, Triple X.
Yeah.
I love Triple X. Have you seen Triple X 3?
No.
It's
Return
so
of
good.
Xander Cage.
You're wrong. If you like John Wick 3, you would like Triple X 3. It's different, but it is so much fun. I know you think I'm crazy.
You are crazy.
You should watch the
first one
first
was
10
second
minutes.
one was whoa.
Dude, when Ice Cube shows up in 3, I nearly lost my mind. Oh, man. And Toni Collette turns in, like, scene-chewing performance that she is better than the movie deserves, but actually lifts the whole movie.
Is she, like, what, the villain in Triple X?
Yes.
Toni Collette.
I genuinely, right now, would stop everything and watch Triple X Return of Xander Cage without hesitation. I fucking love that movie. Even Mrs. Farx loved that movie, and there's just nothing like Ice Cube coming back and hearing everyone in the Oakdale Marcus going, "Yeah, Ice Cube!"
From State of the Union.
Yeah, they don't forget State of the Union. Whereas John Wick sucks because they don't carry over Common. Oh, is Common dead? Halle Berry, where is she in 4?
She left him she said, "We're done. I hope to never see you again." She literally said, I never want to see
her again. I don't care what she wants.
It doesn't
I'm
matter.
the consumer here. I want to see him storm.
Yeah.
And
she already said, Common's dead. They killed Common. He's dead. He was lying there bleeding. He's dead.
You're going with the Collateral theory and the Shane theory.
The guy, I can't think of the actor's name, but the bald guy that was also in Kill Bill, who fights him at the end. You just see him topple over, but Is he dead? Is he alive? He's
How
dead.
about the
He's fucking
adjudicator? I would argue we should see the adjudicator interact with the Marquis at some point. And that's like the consistency that is lacking in John Wick that I don't like.
But why would she need to? Why would the adjudicator need to talk to the Marquis in the first place? She's just there to pass judgment on people.
What I like about Fast and Furious,
And he's already on the high table,
is what they do is they bring in villains and then they X2 them, where like, oh, Magneto now needs to be on our team because a greater evil has come in. It's kind of like if everyone got mad at the police in Minneapolis and then the federal government brought in somebody that made people root for MPD.
But you didn't answer my question. The adjudicator is there just to pass judgment on people for making mistakes. The Marquis is part of the high table. He hasn't made any mistakes. Why would the adjudicator need to be there? To me, that would make no sense.
I guess
You couldn't write that into the story.
You definitely could. For me, it's like the pieces that they're writing of the high table like are disjointed in a way I don't enjoy. I kind of understand the argument. If I could try and articulate what I think your argument is that no, we're seeing different sides of the elephant that is this structure of the high table.
Correct. Yeah.
Because we're seeing an assessor who's a bureaucrat. Now we're meeting the executive, the Marquis. The adjudicator is what I'm calling the bureaucrat in 3.
Okay. Yeah.
Asia, I can't remember their name because they are non-binary. But just like, I want to understand the bureaucratic structure more, and that's what I don't like. And at least Jason Statham had to join the the Vin Diesel team at some point.
But that's why I don't. She didn't need to be in it because in the fourth one you just have the guy from the high table like, yeah, he needs to be dead and I want him dead and this is stupid and he's breaking all the rules and it's him and Winston fighting the powers that be and poor concierge that gets killed for no reason.
Here I'll try and do this a different way. What I don't like about the end of 2 into 3 is like it's consecrated, deconsecrated, reconsecrated, then it's condemned. And like this kind of just seems redundant to me at a certain point, like to end up at the same place after 3-4 steps. And what I'm looking for is just a better... We're working on a story right now that involves a virus that is not real and we're making it up. So just the high table is not real and it's not actually the Illuminati and that sort of thing. But it's clear. So I just want to see like more of the interconnection is what I'm missing. And I'm arguing that Fast and Furious does better interconnection of their installments than John Wick does.
Does it help in the Fast and Furious, does it help the story to have those connections, or are they just in there for fan service?
Well, specifically going from 5 to 6, when The Rock goes from being an antagonist to an ally, kind of the X2 thing I was describing, is that knowing that I'm going to have that, it's an expectation to franchise storytelling that I've come to enjoy. It's the comic book thing.
Right.
Like any comic book character can show up in the comic book, and with John Wick, I can kind of feel like the edges of this installment is this installment, and some stuff is just not going to carry over that you need to know.
Right. Were you? This is it's on topic but off topic question. Were you a fan of wrestling as a kid?
This is a podcast. You cannot be off topic.
Were you a fan of wrestling as a kid?
I was not. I was going to ask you if you liked the UFC earlier because you're a martial artist.
I like to watch fights. Don't ask me about who's fighting who and
sure,
what
but
stats.
you would like to watch the UFC, and I didn't. Like I made a Harry Bolet reference in our Hulk Hogan.
Terry Bolet. No,
Terry Bolet. Yes, because Terry Bolet doesn't have a 10-inch penis, but Hulk Hogan does. Hulkamania! Like, I was aware of... Here's my relationship to wrestling that I think will help you, is that I grew up in a rural, conservative Christian area, like, community, and one of my fellow people I grew up with, he would call his dad and get wrestling updates from him because his dad grew up in Wisconsin, and it was so foreign to me that, like, and, like, he was, like, his mom was way more strict than my mom for like content he could consume, and that his dad just enjoyed this dumb thing. Like I'm a smark, I would say, in terms of like my consumption of this type of media. Is that what you're moving towards with like a smart mark?
Sort of. I've been watching this. It's on Netflix. It's called Unreal. It like lifts the curtain behind the scenes on the WWE over the past year. And so
I've heard of that one.
And what I'm learning from it, because it's always been like the sacred thing. Like there's the on stage presence, but then behind the curtain there's a curtain for a reason. We don't want you to see what's going on back here. That they're really all friends and they really don't hate each other.
Like The Wrestler,
mostly.
the movie The Wrestler.
Right. Yes, correct. But what's impressive about it is that Hunter Helmsley or whatever his real name is, Triple H.
Oh yeah.
It's like their story building and like the way he looks at, like he knows his history, he knows where everybody is, where everybody should be, and that this room, they always show these rooms of when they're talking about the story and who's wrestling who and why does this fit into the story, and like some people be like, no, this person's got to fit in somewhere, and then like there's like that doesn't make any sense. Like in a story, and everybody's got like a different way of how they want to tell the story, which none of them are wrong. But, they have to come to an agreement because they're a group of people. But what I love about Triple H's view is that he's looking big picture. Like, okay, if we do this here, what does that say 6 months from now or a year from now? So we all have to kind of agree that this story here needs to make sense. So if in the future we can either not be a thing or not be like the one where Vince McMahon gets in a limo and the limo blows up. Right, like obviously that's storytelling, but
it's like comics. Is kind of what you're saying,
right?
And Triple H is the Kevin Feige for wrestling,
right? So what I was saying about it not making sense is that he like when characters come back, it's like sometimes it's cool, sometimes it's just fan service, but in the long run, I like it when it makes sense to the story, like when in like. Your two wrestlers are in the ring and the hero is losing to the heel, but all of a sudden you hear Hulk Hogan's music playing, he comes rushing out to save him, because it's his best friend or whatever their story is at that time. That makes sense. But if it was like somebody else, you'd be like, huh? Like why? Oh, they're just coming back because they were injured and now they, for some odd reason, have best friends with this person? That doesn't make any sense.
Well, the audience is going to make a decision emotionally and then rationalize it logically.
Right. True, but me personally, I just like what you were saying with characters coming back. So the Adjudicator and John Wick, to me, and coming back and forth would make zero sense. And first of all, I hated that character. Purposefully because she was written that way.
I'm criticizing something. I may be right about what is wrong. I'm probably wrong about how to make it right for what I am referring to.
Sure.
And like, I still think there could be like an endgame John Wick 5 where you don't even need Keanu Reeves or John Wick. You could make John Wick 5, and I'd be interested to see Bro with the Dog from 4. Mm-hmm. I'd be interested to
Tracker?
see... What? Tracker?
The Tracker? Yeah, Mr.
Like
Nobody?
Because I'd like to see, like, Tracker interact with Halle Berry. I'd like to see Halle Berry interact with Ballerina. I'd like to see, Winston...
But why? Why would they interact with each other?
It's kind of like Star Wars at this point for me. Where,
you want them to rebel against the high table and take down the high table.
Man, that would be fucking sweet if because, like, John Wick died, he's like the Jin Urso that...
He's a martyr. He's now become a martyr for the high table.
Yeah, he now... Yeah. So, I don't know. I would be cool with that.
I think when they're like, well, we're going to do John Wick 5.
Do you want to see any movie in this series for after this? Because you're not a ballerina lover. I'm a ballerina lover.
I didn't hate it. I didn't love it. I'm kind of like, I'm okay with it. I just wasn't very impressed with it. Do I want to see continue? No, I think I'm good with the story. The story doesn't need to continue.
You're done with the Wickverse
because I think
Wickverse is done.
Not necessarily the Wickverse.
So you would like to see something continue with Tracker potentially,
or Kane.
Or Kane. Yeah,
Kane,
I want a
that's
Kane
cool.
movie for sure.
But at the same time, it's like that could also be done wrong, like Andor. Take that for an. I love Star Wars.
Yeah, you don't like Andor, which
I don't hate Andor. Just Andor is a tertiary character that I don't give a shit about. I don't care. I know that there's a rebellion. I know that it had to be built, and they focus on this guy that I don't give a shit
it's
about.
The Michael Clayton of how you stop fascism and how.
I get that, and I love how they did it. I love how they filmed it.
I found it boring, just to be clear.
I love the story.
I forced myself through it.
I loved it when fucking Harry Potter's aunt
Yeah, no.
was like, "Fuck you, Empire," and
at the end of one.
it was a great speech.
Yeah.
And I love the scene where they were building all this shit for the Death Star and Andy
Also,
Serkis.
Stellan Skarsgård, when
Great.
he's like, "Hey, we are doing these things not because it's going to help us, but because it's going to help somebody in the future, even though we will probably lose."
Correct.
Like, there are moments in Andor I really
But
like.
it was just based around a character I didn't give a shit about.
I'm sorry.
Fair.
I do have to say with 4 though, speaking of things I didn't like,
Oh!
where they had an opportunity and they missed it, huge opportunity. That stairway scene could have been about 60 minutes less.
Boo! I love the stairs.
Way too long.
So funny.
Way too fucking long.
Even though I was saying 4 was too much earlier, I rewatched the stairs part twice today.
But you have Scorpion and Ip Man in the same movie. 2 of the best martial art sword fighters you will
Scorpion's
ever.
got to go.
I don't care that he has to go. Their fight was like 5 minutes long.
Oh, so you would just
I'd
like
take that.
to add more to that?
But you have these 2 great guys, like to the
the
point
movie's
where the
called
guy.
John Wick.
I understand that, but it's part of the story and moving on with the story. That you have these 2 guys and you give them 5 minutes, and then you have this fight scene on a stupid stairwell that's 90 minutes too long, and
You've heard of the
guy that played real quick though.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
sorry. The guy
No,
that played
I love it.
Scorpion.
Yeah.
When they were filming that Mortal Kombat scene, those 2 guys fighting, they told them to slow down.
Yeah.
Because they're like, you guys are going too fast. And it wasn't they were going too fast because they were trying to rush it. They're
The
going
camera
that fast
couldn't
because
catch it.
they're fucking that good.
Yeah.
Like they're amazing, and they're like, you gotta slow it down. I'm like, so you have these 2 phenomenal martial artists, and they get 5 minutes in a stupid little sword fight. I'm like, that is the equivalent of Robert De Niro and Al Pacino in Heat sitting across the table from each other.
Yeah, but they also made some crappy movies together. Not Godfather Part 2, but
But
Righteous
this is the
Kill.
first. Heat was the first time they'd ever been in a scene together,
Yeah.
and they're sitting across from a table.
Thank you, Chad Stahelski, for
Right.
getting that done.
And what a great scene, right? And there's no action; it's just words. But what a great scene! You had that moment. They blew it. They totally blew it.
How do you feel about John Wick 4 being a good, the bad, and the ugly analog?
100%. Absolutely.
Well, I guess, do you like that?
I don't hate it.
Are you a Dollars trilogy aficionado?
I'm not an aficionado. I have seen them. I will be honest. I saw them when I was a kid because weekends or whatever, the westerns are on. So I've watched a lot of the Clint Eastwood movies and the Duke and all those because they were on TV.
Yeah.
And so I'd watch them. I don't remember a shit ton about them because I didn't sit and watch them. I was usually doing something else while they were on. I didn't hate them, I didn't, like, oh my God, this is the best thing I've ever seen. So
I recently watched all 3. Recently, as in the past year, because knowing that John Wick Chapter 4 is a good, the bad, and the ugly analog, I bought the trilogy and watched them, and I know they have the same name, same director, and Clint Eastwood's in all of them. He might not be, the man with no name in all of them, but he could be. And yeah, I like the good, the bad. What kind of blows my mind is these were done the 60s. Mm-hmm. And this is like the John Wick of the 60s. So violent, these Italian monsters with their, what do they call the horror giallo or whatever?
Oh, that's...
And giallo starts, in the 70s or something like that?
Yeah, pretty much.
So after the spaghetti westerns, then we get giallo, right?
I guess.
And these things are not disconnected. Would you at least agree to my idea that horror and John Wick don't not share some DNA in how they do kills, how you do violence? You don't disagree? You don't agree?
I don't know. That seems like a reach. I don't know how they relate to each other.
I could see
Because of the violence?
I mean, it's definitely you got to admit, it's definitely a big part of the draw, right?
The violence?
With a John Wick movie, it's not the only thing,
but that's why people come to some horror. Are you a
that's
horror guy?
that's where I was going with that.
You're not a horror guy.
I'm not because they're predictable.
What's the last horror that you saw, and what's predictable horror? 2 movies, however you want to pick them.
Any horror movie, The music.
Come on, Hereditary is not predictable.
You see the movie. They are, and I'm not saying the story is predictable. I'm saying like the scare factor of the horror movie is predictable.
Are you talking jump scare like a Conjuring?
Jump scares, any sort of scare, any sort of thing that's going to happen where somebody's about to die.
But have you sat next to women in the movie theater when this is happening? It's very
No,
funny.
because I don't see horror movie. The only horror movie I've seen in the theater was Cabin in the Woods.
Oh, but that
And
was
I
great.
love that movie.
Yeah, that's
But
fantastic.
it's satirical, right?
Yeah.
It's a knowing.
And I love
movie. zombie.
zombie movies. So if zombie movies are horror movies, then
Yeah. Where are you on 28 Years movies?
I haven't seen the new one. I've watched
great.
28 days, 28 weeks later, 28 years, whatever.
I would argue the Years movies are not that predictable, and they would count.
I don't
as
like
horror.
the zombies in those movies because they run.
They're rage virus people. They're not zombies.
Right, they're not zombies.
I remember being the other corporeal entity that has a W-2 job was in 2010 when Walking Dead was coming out, going like, well, zombies can't run because their ligaments are rotting, so they would like fall off if they ran. And like to my boomer coworkers, that sounded monstrous. Describe what you just did, please, while I was talking.
I get it. It makes sense medically, I guess. But then where do you stand
His
on...
sister's a doctor. I mean, our sister's a doctor.
She is, yeah.
Yeah.
Then where would you stand on like Return of the Living Dead? Because they are like the first running zombies.
I don't like running zombies.
So you don't like
You
Return
should
of the Living
be
Dead?
slow all
And
the
you
time.
don't like the what's that movie with Brad Pitt and the zombies? World War Z.
World War Z. That was a different. I don't like him in that one, and that one was a different sense. And I love how it's based. It says it's based off the book with the name, but this is not in the book.
Mel Brooks' son,
Right. I'm just like this isn't.
who works for a war. He works for like a war think tank now.
Right, because here's the deal. I mean,
Max Brooks.
and I get they were like it's a whatever, but like if you think about it to the root of it, like, this is like the first chapter of my book, right? If there's a zombie virus, it actually wouldn't be a virus. I did with Dana Girl at the time who explained that it wouldn't be a virus; it'd be something else, because
Wait, what do you
viruses
mean?
or whatever. I forget what it was called because she was a phlebotomist. She knows all about bloods and diseases and shit
Cool.
like that. But anyways, whatever it is, virus for the sake of an argument and sake of a better term at the moment, would kill the body, but the body still needs to be alive and the brain still needs to be alive. So what is it doing? It's trying to keep the body alive at the basics of functions to get it to spread the virus because the virus wants to spread and mutate. So basic functions, walking, not really talking, can't run because that's too complicated for this virus to control the entire body. So it's a symbiotic kind of brain virus that takes over your brain, right? Like mad cow disease or whatever, where you're basically dead but alive.
Yeah. What about the fungus zombies in?
Cordyceps?
Last of Us?
The Last of Us?
Yeah.
Last of Us isn't, I wouldn't consider that a zombie flick. I think it's a mutation.
Yeah, it's fungus.
Man,
Hive
the
mind.
minorities aren't gonna get this shit.
Well, so-
fucking 28. Sorry, you go.
No, I'm just saying. So we've kind of been down this road before on the show. You have a more narrow definition of zombie than some people might
The
have.
traditional term of zombie, yeah.
Yeah, like kind of originating from like the voodoo type zombie.
A voodoo, yep.
And then George Romero was
Romero,
like it was
absolutely.
not, that was not voodoo, but like it was also
That's, yeah, because that was my first intake was Romero.
it was ambiguous as to what the cause was, but probably something like from space or contamination or something.
Right.
But but slow and But we went down that road with like sci-fi. What defines sci-fi, and is Avatar sci-fi, and if different
It's
definitions of what constitutes true sci-fi.
Can we end on is John Wick a ninja? That's what I told my daughter.
He's not a ninja.
Not a ninja.
John Wick is a ninja, man.
No, he doesn't work from the shadows.
Japanese guys.
He's not even
martial
That
arts.
doesn't make him a ninja.
He's barely using ninjutsu as the definition of ninja.
Yeah.
If we're using the term ninja as
Ninjutsu,
as we just
yeah.
talked about with zombies as a broad spectrum of somebody who kills people.
No,
sure.
no.
But as a
Japanese
traditional
martial artist using ninjutsu.
No, because
No.
ninjas were very specific, trained warriors with straight weapons versus samurai with curved weapons, hiding in the dark, sneaking up on their enemies.
John Wick uses straight weapons often.
But they
Yeah,
sneaks
but
up
he's seen
sometimes.
all the
But
time.
He sneaks in one a bunch.
they were like
There's LED
shadow,
lights.
They're like shadow warriors. 3 is a good example. So the bald guy and his crew, they were more ninjutsu than John Wick ever was because they kept hiding in the shadows and they were popping out of the walls. Even though if you watch it, they're standing there the whole time. You just don't focus on them until the director wanted you to focus on them.
Mm.
That's more ninjutsu than John Wick. John Wick's just the baddest ass
Running
assassin
gun,
that's ever been around. That was really hard to say. Baddest ass assassin.
Baddest ass assassin that was ever around.
Because if you he's using all sorts of things. He's using jiu-jitsu. He's using wrestling. He's using kung fu. He's using knife throwing, gung fu, because it's a lot of judo. There's a lot of judo.
how do you tell judo as a martial arts specialist?
Watch judo in the Olympics. It's throws. Ronda Rousey was a judo.
When you put someone over your shoulder, is that judo?
The way you throw them,
Yeah.
potentially. If it's a judo throw, if it's a judo specific throw, yeah.
Okay.
What was that?
Offline, I'll tell you.
Okay, all right.
Let's do it. Let's send it there.
All right. Catch us in our interview with Nick
Krekeler.
Nick Krekeler.
Find me on my podcast, Best Receipt Ever. Bye.
Thank you for listening. For more JK Productions, find us on Instagram at JK Productions Team and on Facebook, JK Productions MN.